Hey YouTube, this is Jared from Grip the Top Commander. I'm here with the deck with one of my favorite decks, Jalira Master Polymorphist. She's just an amazing fun card, the little gift that M15 gave us. She's a legendary human wizard, and her ability is polymorph on a stick. It's amazing. For 2 colorless mana and a blue, you just tap her, sacrifice another creature, reveal the top card of the library to reveal a non-legendary creature card. And put that card into play and put the rest of the cards on the bottom in the random order. I love that ability. Be able to kill any creature I have, whether I steal it or one of my own that's about to die, and actually get super value for it is amazing. I built a deck around that ability. And I'll kind of talk about what I'm going to do, but first I'm talking about the targets. There's only 8 targets which you can actually get with Jalira, and so no matter what, you're going to get something big every time she goes off. So let's go with the big fatties now. Gilded Drake is not a fatty, but he can be. He can steal anything you need. People don't see it coming, it's kind of random. They're expecting massive, huge things, and then I steal their favorite item. It's fun. Mirror Battlesphere is a huge beater. I mean, he's swinging in for 12 when you tap his mirror tokens, and he gives you tokens to polymorph into later on, which is kind of just icing on the cake, but he's just a big fatty that affects the game. It that Betrays his dirty evil card, which is so fun to play when you're on the fun side, not the opposing team. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent, puts that card into the battlefield under your control. So it is really good. I love it when they use fetch lands and they don't realize that I'm going to have their fetch land. It's amazing. Wormcoil. It's Wormcoil. Scourge of the Fleet was a card that I did no idea it was going to be this good. It's a mass bounce effect for your opponents, and you're still good. So, I mean, I've won games because this card has hit the field. I mean, returned everything that they had, and I have this huge army. It's this amazing creature. Still Hellkite. It is removal for whatever I need it to be. I always try to do Jalira's ability on the end step of the person before me, so he can swing in almost immediately, and people don't see it coming. And I'll wipe whatever. I'll take care of any problem that I have, and I can even pump it up. This Sphinx is amazing. It's a bribery on a stick. I usually don't try to go for the super huge stuff. I try to go for the fun cards. I don't try to choose Eldrazi because a lot of times they'll guess that stuff. It is super fun. It gets you more creatures. It steals you more things. It just fits the theme of the deck. Yes, I'm running Blightsteel Colossus. I do feel kind of dirty every time I get it out, but it's so good that I can't help it. I had to put it in there. Darksteel Colossus is his lesser evil brother. And the great thing about these 2 cards that once they die, if they can kill it, once they die, it actually shovels back into the deck. So it's another. Then I can get it back again with the Jalira. So the main tool I use to get these fatties out is actually control magic, is steal effects. So I steal their commanders, I steal their guys early on, and I turn into Blightsteels and swing at their face. So it doubles as a tool for me to get the engine going, and also as removal, which is amazing. A lot of times all the stealer stuff that's really good I'll keep it and not even polymorph it until I have to. So control magic, gain control of target creature.
And it's not like the incursion flags, you can't just use them.
Vacanus Shackles is probably my favorite card in this deck. I have 4 different tutors just to get this card alone. It's the repeatable steal effect. I can keep it as long as I want. I can polymorph it and then get something else. So I mean, this card. I mean, this is the highlight of the deck, other than Jalira. Helm of Possession is the same way. I can sacrifice something small and get their big thing, take care of problems. Chamber Manipulation is really good. It's a act of treason on a stick. I can constantly just pitch a land, pitch a mana rock, anything I don't really care about at the time, steal it, polymorph into something else. Amazing. Domestication, same thing. The ability on it where it says at the end of turn, if the At the beginning of your end step, if the enchanted creature power is 4 or greater, sacrifice domestication, which is never a problem because by the end of the turn I'm going to sacrifice it and get something bigger. An awesome gem is what this deck needed. Domineering Will from our new Commander 2014. I gain up to 3 target non-attacking creatures until end of turn. Untap those creatures. They block this turn if able. So I mean, I could use it for blockers, like it says, but most I would just use it to steal something, instant speed, and polymorph it away. Ray of Command, exact same thing, except for it's only 1. Treachery is awesome because you can. It's a steal creature for free. Then I can use those 5 untapped lands to polymorph it away. Batter School, it does give me a token, but that's not the only reason why I'm playing it. I'm playing it because it's Batter School. Life gain, a token to polymorph into. It's just amazing. Rite of Replication. This is a little bit of a token producer. I can clone my bigger guys or just go nuts. I've actually at one point in time hard cast Either Betrays and right replicated it, kicked in one single turn. That was a fun game. Crackling Counterpart. Again, I can clone my fatties. I can even clone something small to polymorph to if I need to. Instant speed. Trading Post. It gives me tokens to proliferate into, and also I can get those artifact creatures, the Baffatis, back from the grave. Remember that? It's token producer. It's still the best thing. It's just an amazing card. Some of the legendary cards. I put Deferi in there in that category. Deferi is going to be amazing in this deck. I have a huge number of mana rocks, and him able to untap. Even if I didn't have any mana rocks, his -1 says untap up to 4 target permanents. So I play him, untap Jalira and 3 other mana to use her ability, and I can use that same turn twice. So it's just amazing. Even I didn't have mana rocks to really get super value on it. He's amazing. The +1 ability says look at the top 2 cards of your library, one of them in your hand and the other on the bottom of your library. And the -10 is redundant in this deck. I would never really use it. You get an emblem with you may activate loyalty abilities of planeswalkers you control anytime players you can activate loyalty abilities of planeswalkers you control on any player's turn anytime you can cast instant. Only have one other planeswalker in this deck, so I would never use the 10, but the -1 alone is enough reason for me to run it. Empress Jalina. She is another steal effect, and she's legendary creature. So I cannot polymorph into her, which is a good thing because I want fatties. So I can even use her as a polymorph fodder to get something big if I have to, if push comes to shove. Thada Adele. She's amazing. Soul Ring Stealer. Even I'll get the artifact creatures from their deck, put it into play. Solemn is amazing. I'll steal Solemn and get super value. Next it gets to the Mana Rock package. I'm a huge fan of Mana Rocks and artifacts in general. And this gives me the ability to push out Jalira super fast, even up to turn 2. I consistently get her out on turn 3. And that's kind of what I built the deck for, get her out on turn 3 and turn 4 start doing crazy things. So I mean, it gives me a plan B too. So if they tuck Jalira, I can just hard cast the fatties that I get. So Everflowing Chalice almost always ends up with 1 counter. Mox Opal. Mana Vault, potential turn 2 Jalira. Voltage Key. There's so many mana rocks, it is amazing. Welfare Bubble gets me a land. Another turn 2 Jalira as well. Soul Ring, turn 2 Jalira. Wellflower Stone, a 2 mana rock is awesome. Copy Artifact. Depending on the state of the game when I pull this, I'll either copy a mana rock or something good, or actually copy one of my big fatties that are 90% of them are artifacts. Mind Stone.
against, or at least what we rank.
The medallion is just amazing. The Sapphire medallion makes all my white spell or blue spells cost 1 less. Grim Monolith, again, just this extra mana ramp to get you going fast. Fractured Power Stone, those 2 mana rocks that come and play untapped are amazing. They're my favorite. Garden Idol is awesome. Comes play tap, which is kind of a bummer. It taps for mana, but also I can pay 2 mana, and the idol becomes a 2/2 artifact creature until end of turn. So this mana rock can actually pay 1 mana and use, and I'll use another mana to turn into a 2/2 which I can polymorph into or out of. Scorpion Steel is like copy artifact, depending on the stage of the game, what I'm going to copy and what I'm going to do with it. But it just gives you great versatility. Dynamite. Get a Lotus. There are a few deck manipulations. It's not necessary since I only have creatures that I can polymorph into. I don't have anything I have to avoid. But since the Divine Top is just so good, why wouldn't you put it in here? Scrolling Rack is really good, especially when I get a fatty in my hand. I can put it back on top of the deck for 1 mana, then polymorph into it for free. See, beyond the same scenario, I draw 2 cards, then I grab the fatty, put it back in the deck. Tezzeret the Seeker is always, when I first cast it, is always -3 to go get Shackles. Reshape, again, you'll get Shackles. Fabricate, go get Shackles. Then we have the Removal Suite. So I'm not a huge fan of counter spells, but being a mono blue deck, it's kind of, you're almost obligated to. I start off with just straight up counter spell. 2 mana counter spell, very efficient and effective. Then we have the Split Decision. This is kind of more of a flavor spell for me. It can counter or duplicate a spell depending on what the politics say of the game. It is, as far as competitiveness, it's maybe not the best because you can't predict exactly what's going to happen every time. There's always that wild card player that'll choose something odd. But it's just a fun card for me that I enjoy playing it. Spell Crumble, tuck your commander. Ender, tuck your commander. Desertion, kind of goes with the theme of the deck. I can steal their items, whether it's artifact or creature. Curse of the Swine, well, Jalira likes to turn small things into big things. Why don't we turn big things into small things? Rapid Hybridization does the exact same thing. Pongify. Olive's Dust is the 1 solid removal as far as board wipe goes. Deals with enchantments and anything else. And the great thing about this, most of my fatties are artifacts or colorless, so it doesn't affect my board state, at least the minimum, and then it usually will blow out everybody else. So it's a very good card for this deck. Washout, I don't see it played very often, but it's really good. Return all permanents of the color of your choice to your owner's hand. So that just doesn't, I don't have to choose a color until it resolves. So once it resolves, and then I say a color, so someone may be thinking I'm going to say something else and not counter it. Well, I can actually say something, even blue or whatever the case may be to give me the advantage. Iconic Rift. It's Iconic Rift. Kind of the miscellaneous suite. Bribery. I can go steal something big. It's kind of the theme, or even get something tokens or something good. Landing Greaves protects Jalira and gives her haste. Rings of Brightheart. Amazing with Jalira. I mean, I sacrifice one guy and I pay 2 extra mana and I get 2 fatties out of it. It's amazing. Pongify is kind of another plan C, I guess. I can either necessary kills a huge threat if I need to, or to just Pongify one of my targets. Progenitus Staff, exact same thing. It's a plan C. So if I can't get, if they tuck Jalira or they kill so many times I can't cast it, it's another commander on a stick. I have 36 lands. 11 of those lands are non-basic lands. So Academy Ruin, again, most of my fatties are artifacts, so putting an artifact on top of my library, then proliferate, is exactly what this deck wants to do. If I can't, another great thing this deck has, if I cannot get to steal my opponent's creatures, I can just make a man land and polymorph out of those. So, I mean, Mutavault, Misha's Factory, they both turn into dudes. Fairy's Conclave turns to a dude. Blinkmoth Nexus turns to a dude. Springjack Pasture makes goats. Friction Core, I like this. It's kind of a, again, being that my fatties are really big, I don't want to have people trying to steal my things, so I can sacrifice them and use this ability to my advantage so they don't get to steal it. Buried Ruin. Taps 1 colorless, and I can pay 2, sacrifice, and return an artifact from my grave or to my hand. It's just good recursion. Same with the Haunted Phanagraph. The Haunted Phanagraph is really good. I mean, I can return a creature. It's random, but I only run the like 11 creatures in the deck. So if it's in there, it's probably gonna be a fatty. Then I have Seat of the Synod. And I do run a couple of cycle lands. I think it's the only cycle land I carry. Yeah, that's the last one I have. The only one I have. It's just be a mana flood. You can cycle it away, draw a card. And then I have 25 Islas. So that's the deck. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more deck techs, gameplays.